absolutely beautiful out there this morning, the 16th of April, 2026. Forecast, what do we have today? Sunshine, just a little chance of rain. Maybe your home will get a little of that. Your lawn will see a little of it. 85 for the high. Going to be nice again for tomorrow, Friday, a high of 89. Saturday, we get some rain. It looks like Saturday night, maybe getting into West Alabama about 8 or 9 p.m. Chance of showers, pretty good there, 86 the high. Sunday morning, a 40% chance of showers, high of 70, and then that stuff moves out of here. And hopefully by midday or maybe by the afternoon, going to be really nice. And temperatures drop to Sunday's high, only 70 degrees. So we'll go from almost 90 on Friday to a high of about 70 on Sunday, nearly a 20-degree drop.
Woo!
That'll feel good.
Woo!
Yeah, so, yeah, we deserve some of that. I mean, it's April,
You're
some
right.
warm weather, but, not too hot just yet. We'll get into those 90s in May and June. So if we can have some 70-degree days, and I think Monday, Tuesday, I saw 74, 75, something like that. So we're going to have about 3 days where it kind of cools down. It'll feel good again.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. It is 8:06 with Dixon and Vining. Thanks for hanging out with us. Work Trucks is downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South. And when you need a truck that is not a show pony but a workhorse, Work Trucks is the place to go. Now, you can just buy yourself a pickup truck of any size, or you can go ahead and get one of these utility body trucks. They got a bunch of those in stock right now, big old ones. Some of these have crane arms on them, which is kind of cool. Walked by one yesterday when I was there with a big old winch on the front of it. I was like, ooh, I'm jealous. I want that winch. I don't need a winch. I just want that winch, But this is how they are able to outfit your vehicle to suit your needs. They also have box trucks and cargo vans and passenger vans. They have diesel vehicles and gasoline vehicles. Some of them so new they still have factory warranty on them. And then they got a shop right across the street where they are able to service your vehicle even if you didn't buy it from Work Trucks. This is where they put them all through that 125-point inspection before they put them on the lot. Work Trucks downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South, or online at worktruckswithanxllc.com, where they are all about trucks. Speaking of vehicles, Uber is committing $10 billion to robo-taxis.
It's technology, and this is where it's headed.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happening in some major cities.
Now, we're talking about replacing more workers, really, when you get right down to it. Now, are we at the point? I know that there are Teslas out there that have self-drive, and that somehow Elon Musk and his band of merry engineers have improved this exponentially from the last couple of years ago, where we were hearing about accidents and people getting hit by these things, and sometimes, the owners themselves were being hit by the car that they were supposed to be in, and it was weird. But they apparently have gotten this to the point now where people are raving about it. They just I read these reviews online. I get in, I put my destination into the computer that's on the screen. It's like the navigation computer most people have or will have, if not, don't have one yet. And then the car just takes you there.
Yeah.
It goes the speed limit. It doesn't run into other cars. It can sense other vehicles. It turns where it's supposed to turn. It stops when it's supposed to stop. It parks itself. You're just like...
Other cars can hit it, though.
That's true. And that does worry me.
It does. That's the bad part about it.
Yeah, although, technically it's supposed to be able to sense that that's happening and, correct and get out of the way as well. I really don't know, but it is quite an amazing thing if that is, in fact, the case. Welcome to Johnny Cab.
And I mentioned this when I was in Arizona last November. The entire Arizona campus, the college campus, these vehicles were everywhere. I was like, well, there's somebody. The first time you see it, it freaked me out. I was like, no one's behind the wheel of that car. And I was like, everybody's like, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 10 more behind it. And I was like, this is really cool. And apparently this is how a lot of the students on campus get around. They'll jump in the Uber and they can go wherever they need to go.
Wow.
And it's just totally electric-driven car with, nobody in it. It's just them. You're like, that's really wild.
But
the technology is here.
It does have to be, by the way, electric because the car can't stop and gas itself up. That's part of the problem.
That'll be next, Richard.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me that this is where we are going with this. It's a hard left turn. Think back to all of the science fiction movies you saw when you were a kid, and how many of them did we carry small computers around in our pocket that had a screen on it? None.
Yeah.
Really, the only movie that predicted the iPad was Space Odyssey, like 2000. What is it?
2001.
2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah. The guy was using something that looked very similar to an iPad in that. And that's the only time in any of those old science fiction movies that you're able to really find that. What happens is we think technology is going to zig. We're going to have flying cars. It zags. No, you're going to have a computer in your pocket that has access to all the world's knowledge. And you're going to use it to pick fights with other people about politics and watch cat
And
videos.
You're going to lose friends over
Yes,
this. You're going to
right.
oh, no, I would never lose a friend over that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, you would.
Watch and see. But here we said we wanted flying cars, and it said, well, how about self-driving cars? You know, we need to get a whole bunch of electric cars out there. We need to get them on the market. Well, what if they drove themselves as well? I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Really,
and
it's quite
again,
remarkable.
one of the great test sites it would be a university campus,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Because no one's speeding. Well, most people shouldn't be speeding,
Right.
but the speed limit on a university campus is 30, 35 miles an hour at
Right,
most.
yeah.
You've got people walking around, so all the speed limits are really small between the buildings. The rec centers, places that you need to go. The speed limits aren't high, so that's really a perfect place
Finite
to try it.
geographic area
Yeah.
with roads that you can easily map out
Mm-hmm.
and say, this is, here's where the roads are, and your Tesla can then get
And then
you
you
where you wanna
expand
be.
it out from there, and then you go to cities that it works in. So yeah, it's pretty neat to see.
Uber is positioned a partner rather across much of the autonomous vehicle industry, including with Baidu, Rivian, and Lucid, and has outlined plans to launch robotaxi service in at least 28 cities by 2028. It's funny that they mentioned those three specifically because I just saw yesterday where Tesla's one of Tesla's vehicles, outsold every electric vehicle of another model, of another kind, of another make, I should say. So one model of Tesla outsold every other electric vehicle maker on the planet in one quarter. You're like, okay, so Tesla's still doing very well.
Yeah, and again, it may be for this reason that they're getting these driverless cars, these robo-taxi services.
Could be.
And that, if one area of the country is doing it and it works well, there's going to be other. University of Alabama, I think Auburn University. I mean, eventually they'll probably have them too, rather than these buses or however students, are able to move around campuses. They'll just use this.
So here we are, once again, looking at cartoons with the Jetsons where they're in little spaceships flying around. And reality is we're going to be sitting in the back seat of a vehicle that drives itself around and gets us where we want to go.
Right.
Total Recall was a lot closer to reality with the Johnny Cab.
You're not kidding.
I mean, it got us where we wanted to go on Mars, I
Well,
guess.
this is the next step, and then you ask yourself, what's the step after this?
I
And I don't know what it is.
I didn't
but
see
it's-
this one coming. So
Yeah.
self-flying planes, I'm a little worried about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we said that about cars. We went, oh. Now,
Yeah.
yes, I guess that's we put it in autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to land and take off.
That's what I'm thinking is the takeoff and the landing and the part.
But
that
actually,
really
I would
concerns
think
me most.
a robot or electronically might be, I don't know. I
Yeah.
say that and I'm like, ooh, I'd be really nervous if there wasn't at least a pilot on the plane.
Yeah.
To take maybe something went wonky with the control system or you hit bad weather and it's not sure how to make those adjustments, but I guess you could teach it.
All of this is a little bit of a shock to find out that our unemployment rate is still just 4.3% because it seems like we're replacing people with machines and AI at a formidable clip here. By the way, the CPI came out yesterday, and it is 2.6 actually. Core CPI was 2.6. Non-core, that is to say, when you include food and energy, and it was 3.3. So a little higher inflation than we'd like it to be. But get this, about half of what the experts had predicted. Think about that for a second. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Yes, of course, the energy prices went up. We watched it happen over the course of March as a result of what's happening over there in Iran.
Yeah.
But that, too, is going to change as we've got now all of these boats headed toward the United States and our own Gulf of America.
How about
where
that?
they're going to be loading up with our oil,
Yep.
buying our oil.
Now, Scott Bessent said yesterday he doesn't believe really that we're going to see a huge drop in the gas prices yet.
Yep.
He said, again, raising them happens really fast,
Amazing,
right?
isn't it?
But to bring them back down
Yeah.
is going to take some time. And he even mentioned from June to September,
Uh-huh.
we may not see
Oh.
a whole lot of a dip, even with what's going on right now across the world.
That's a shame because I love dip.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Barber's.
What kind?
Dip. So good.
Yeah.
The sour cream and
The
onion.
sour cream and
That's
onion?
my favorite kind.
I thought you were talking about the little patches you put in
No,
your mouth,
no,
that
that's
kind of dip.
weird. That's creepy. That stuff freaks me out. uh, yeah, it is sort of funny how, when the gas prices go down, they're always like, well, it's got to go through the refinery. The oil's got to go through the refinery, and then it has to make it into tankers, and it gets stored, and then it comes here, and it's a trickle-down process. You see the price of a barrel of oil goes up, and the guy is out at the pumps with duct tape and a Sharpie changing the price. You're like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's easy to raise them real quick, but bringing them back down is another story.
Yeah, boy. 8:16 with Dixon and Viney. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com. They know what bugs you. Love me some Mr. Bugs, especially during this season. Yesterday, my mosquito sprayer came by and sprayed the place. What they do and how they do it is very proprietary, and I'm not allowed to say, or the other kids will beat me up. But I can tell you that they know what they're doing because my yard is mosquito-free. In fact, pretty much any flying insect is no longer found in my yard, thanks to these gentlemen and the great job that they do. If you want to enjoy some of this great weather that we're having right now and not be eaten alive, I can tell you that mosquito reduction from Mr. Bugs is absolutely the way you need to go. MRBUGGS.com, MrBugs.com. They also do pest control, termite bonding, obviously, small rodent control. They do it all at Mr. Bugs. Give them a call. Get a free estimate today. 941-6252. Mr. Bugs, they know what bugs you. Man, I saw these guys a couple of years ago. They can still hit all the notes. Pretty impressive. Dixon and Vining. It's 8:23. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. When it's a 5 o'clock world and the sun is up and you are ready for a little partay on the partay boat, Rodney's Marine is the place you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney's is ready with a boat just for you. They have got in-house financing on those Suzuki-powered Silver Wave and Starcraft pontoons and Tritoons. And, of course, that 5-year warranty on the Suzuki Power is exactly what everybody wants. You want something you can depend on, something you don't really have to think about, and that's exactly what you get. Now, with the in-house financing, you get great low monthly payments, plus service after the sale. You just can't beat Rodney's.
You can't. And here's something else to consider. Maybe you don't have a place on Lake Logan Martin, but you certainly want the boating life. Pick up the phone and call Rodney and see if he's got some room in that valet service. Because what you could do is you could be living here in Birmingham, any part of the metro area, zip over to Rodney's Marine on Lake Logan Martin and Cropwell, and to let them know ahead of time you're coming and you want to get your boat out. They'll put the boat in the water, and off you go. Come back after a day of boating and slip that cleaned up boat. You don't do it. He does it back in the valet for the next time you want to go out. So, again, you don't necessarily have to have a place there, but you need a marina like Rodney's Marine to take good care of you. Rent a boat, do the party boat. Again, if you're not sure about the experience, get to know Rodney and the good guys that are there. His wife, Kimberly, very much a part of what goes on out there. Accessories that you might need for your new boat, certainly those are there too. So call him today, get to know him, talk to him about what it is you want, and maybe rent a boat first. 525-1500. They're out there on Highway 231 in Cropwell. Rodney'sMarine.com on the online if you want to see what he's got there, and on Facebook, always listing a lot of great information there too. Rodney's Marine. Call him today, 525-1500.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, it looks like mediators from Pakistan are now trying to help with the ceasefire, the U.S. and Iran. Here's what's going on right now. We heard earlier this morning Secretary of War Pete Hegseth kind of giving an update on what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. He's hoping that Iran will do the right thing and come and talk with the U.S., try to figure this out peacefully. But if they don't, well, then we'll have to take the next steps that we need to. But meanwhile, no ships getting in and out of Iran. There are tankers and whatnot that are getting supplies through the Strait of Hormuz right now based on what the U.S. is doing. So they are kind of like on an island of their own right now.
Yep.
Iran is. It would behoove them to try to come to the table, try to negotiate, try to do what they need to completely end this war. And it's all about not having nukes and not having enriched uranium. And that's really the bottom line to all of this.
Yep, and they don't seem to be playing ball, but maybe they will after a couple of days of not eating, you know?
That might be
That's
what
really
it
what it
takes.
comes
The
down
lights
to.
out and not eating, and hey, you know, there's no shipments coming in and out of here, and we really need those shipments.
Let's take another look at that plan.
Yeah. Well, and if you missed this this viral video, it is going round and round, and it is, to say the least, very disturbing. 30-year-old Jason Thomas Nichols, he's lives in the Bay Area. Walked up to a Ring doorbell at a home at a residence, and started making demands for the homeowners to open up the door. He then begins to scream and yell in a way that it's almost animalistic. He tries to pull off the Ring camera. He destroys something else outside of the home. The father that lives at that residence is talking with him through the Ring camera. He's not opening up the door, and part of the reason is he's not there. The father isn't. So apparently there was a woman there, a pregnant woman, and a 5-year-old son. The father, in the meantime, while all this is going on, he's got his vehicle turned around trying to get back to the house as quickly as he can. This guy ends up finding a way in through a sliding glass door on another part of the house, and the pregnant female and the 5-year-old apparently are tucked away, hidden somewhere in the house. He doesn't find them, but the father comes home, grabs a shovel because that's all he has to defend himself, and these two start going at it. They both end up with some head injuries. Nichols then ends up fleeing the scene. Police arrest him. Now he's been charged with 4 felonies and also another charge of molesting a child under the age of 18. This is, I'm telling you, you see, the last time I saw something like this really was a neighbor of mine around Halloween, and I thought the whole thing was a joke, where a woman really was having a mental breakdown.
Oh,
she
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And I may have shown you that video where she had Ring cameras, and this woman, unfortunately, her front door was unlocked. This woman is screaming at the top of her lungs all the way into the house. Another situation where if there had been a weapon, this woman might not be alive.
Might not be around today.
And this guy might not be alive had there been a weapon in the house, and deservedly so. These people deserve to protect themselves and their livelihood, and their family. And I'm just glad that they've got him under arrest. They changed the bond from $35,000 to $250,000.
Yeah, after they got a look at the previous charge with the molestation, they were like, "Oh yeah, we better hold on to this guy." The very definition of unhinged is his behavior on that porch. Yeah,
Absolutely, and he really does. It appears he needs to be in a mental health facility. Finally, deputies in L.A. have arrested a 36-year-old Arizona man that was running through traffic near the Trump National Golf Course. This is in California, while carrying a loaded rifle painted to look like a toy inspired by the Joker character from Batman and wearing a heavy-duty ballistic vest. Scary times out there. Witnesses reported seeing the man identified as Sean Steiner of Glendale, Arizona, hiking in the area with a duffel bag, a step stool, and a rifle before he allegedly ran into traffic. Deputies arrived and found the rifle painted green and purple and the words "ha ha ha" on it. This is another guy. Thank goodness authorities found him and arrested him. Tried to make a real gun look like a toy gun.
You've been listening to Whack Job News with Dixon and Vining.
That's another one.
Finding all the Looney Tunes that are out there and telling you about their stories.
Round them up, folks.
Yikes.
Round them up.
Yeah, they may be closer than you think. Look over at the next desk. That guy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's trouble.
That person in the car right next to you could be.
You never can
Don't
tell.
Don't look too long.
No, look away.
Don't look too
look
long.
Away.
Just a real quick tilt of the head look.
You're going to get a, what are you looking at? And then it's on.
That's right.
You don't want that. It is 8:30. Dixon and Vining, Talk 995, talk995.com. Feel free to drop us a line if you're so inclined. 545-9950. Details about our big 10th birthday party coming up in mere moments. Make sure you're here for it. Plus, a lot more where that came from. We are just loaded, buried under news today, and we're going to share it with you because why should we have to take the burden ourselves, huh? 8:36, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talking995.com. Got ourselves a good-looking Thursday here, Friday Eve, heading toward a decent weekend with some rain finally in the forecast. 20% chance today. You may get some, I don't know. Steve almost certainly will. There's a 20% chance for the rest of us and a 100% chance for Steve. It's where he lives, man.
Probably about right.
Where he lives. 40% chance on Saturday night.
60%.
60%, yeah, they're up now. As a matter of fact, I'm watching the cloud bank as it moves, the front that is coming. And if that front does not break up between then and now, there's not going to be any avoiding it. We're going to get some stormage. And then, of course, the cooler weather comes in, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Bring it on.
Of course, before they get here, you might want to call Alabama Tree Pros and have them take a look at that tree that you are a little worried about, that maybe, it sways a little bit too much, or it looks like it might be dying. Maybe you need to get that thing taken down before it falls on the power lines, falls across the road, falls across your driveway, falls on your neighbor's house, whatever. You get somebody out there from Alabama Tree Pros who's going to give you an estimate, or say, hey, listen, would you like to save the tree? There's a possibility we could do that. Or if you want to just, trim it up, take some of the top off, we can do that for you as well. They do it all right down to grinding the stump and making it appear as though the tree was never there to begin with. Hack it up and haul it away. They do it all. That is Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158, 308-4158, or online at alabamatreepros.com. They're fast, they're safe, they're experts, and they are less than the other guys. What more could you hope for? I want to talk a little bit about the war of words between Donald Trump and the Pope.
Well, not just Donald Trump. It seems like everybody's glomming on.
There seems to be a lot of people that are
Vance
getting,
had a few words to say.
Some folks who are not really crazy about Pope Leo. I got to tell you, the Pope is just a man, okay? That's important to note. And I know there are Catholics out there who are like, he's a holy man. He's the holiest of men. Okay, fine. Dial it down a little bit there, Chachi. He is fallible. Mm-hmm. And I think I said the other day that you really lose the moral high ground when you watch a country kill somewhere between 30,000 and 45,000 of their own people because they're trying to overthrow the government, and you don't say anything about it. All these people want is freedom. They want freedom of religion. They would like, some of them are probably Christians who would like to follow you. And you don't say a word about it, but when the United States hits with a blockade or drops bombs, oh, how dare you? How dare you hurt those poor, innocent Muslims who've been shouting death to America for the past 47 years? I mean, the Pope, this Pope and others, lost a lot of moral high ground back during the 90s when you had the child sex scandal Spotlight, a movie that kind of really did a good job of characterizing that in a semi-fictitious way. But, the amount of money that has been paid out by the Catholic Church to victims of sex crimes at the hands of their priests, whom they then just shuffled around rather than drumming out of the church. I look at this and I just say, guys, you don't have that moral high ground that you think you have. I know you believe you do because you've got the hat and you've got the shoes, but the reality is there's a lot of bad stuff going on here. And until I hear you address it and apologize for it.
Well, they're addressing it, but only in a way that suits what it is their message is.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. You're not calling out everything. You're only calling out certain things.
Calling out one side.
Yeah.
He loves to talk about, open borders. The Vatican is one of the most closed places.
You can't get into the Vatican for nothing.
Vatican City is absolutely shut down.
And it's like he's lost sight of that.
Absolutely.
Completely. Forgotten that.
And really, I don't want my religion getting involved in my politics, and I don't want my politics getting involved in my religion, okay? So my take on it is the Pope should be poping, and the president should be presidenting, and the two really shouldn't cross ways. I don't believe that the Pope needs to sound off on these issues. And here's another reason why. The Israeli Defense Forces uncovered more than 130 weapons belonging to the terrorist group Hezbollah inside a school in southern Lebanon.
Have you seen the pictures of this?
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. There's a cavalcade, a cache of weapons, and they've got it laid out here on the gym floor because, that's where they were hiding them, in this school, which, You can argue the morality of it all day long, but the reality is when you put children in harm's way like that, you're the bad guy, okay? There's not another angle on this. You're the bad guy. Hezbollah and Hamas putting their headquarters underneath hospitals, underneath playgrounds, daycare centers, elementary schools like this one. You're the bad guy. You don't. It doesn't.
It's worse than being a bad guy.
You don't really even have to think about it too much.
Right.
Because guess what? Israel doesn't do that.
Yeah, you're using your people, you're using women, you're using children as your shield to protect you and these weapons that you have, and this is what they're notorious for.
That is downright
It's almost like
evil.
if you want to know where the bad guys are and where they're hiding bombs and things like that, go to the schools and hospitals. That's where you need to go. Places of worship, your schools, your hospitals. That's where they're hiding them all. Maybe they're underground. Maybe they're just sitting there, laying there in the building, like this particular school. But I like the fact, Richard, that not only did President Trump come out and speak about that, J.D. Vance spoke about it. White House border czar Tom Homan also was telling the Pope to leave politics alone, leave politics out of this. Go ahead and Pope, do the things that you do as a Pope, but stay out of the politics because he's so wrong on this.
Yeah.
He is so wrong. And I like the fact that they're calling him out on it. I think so many times when you're talking about the Pope, they get a pass.
Oh, yeah.
They get to say what they want to say because they're the Pope.
Well, I don't
you
think
can't
he's going to
question
stop.
the Pope.
I don't think he's going to stop.
I don't think
Pope
he
Leo is going
is.
to continue to say the things he's saying, but I don't know how anybody takes the guy seriously when you look at a situation like this. He's not going to comment on this. He's not going to comment on 130 guns. He's not going to comment about headquarters and communication centers placed under daycare centers in Gaza. He's not going to make any comments about those things. But boy, it's easy to attack the great Satan, isn't it? It's easy to attack the United States of America and say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this."
It's easy to attack Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, people are. Pete Hegseth called it out today from the media.
Yeah.
What the media does to him.
Guy's got a target on his back for sure.
And the Pope's not helping with that.
Good thing he's strong and he doesn't care.
Nah,
He's just like, "Oh yeah, say whatever you want about me. You don't frighten me. You don't scare me." He comes back and gives as good as he gets. And you're right. He's one of the few presidents I think that would take on the Pope and say, "You
You're
don't scare
wrong.
me. You're wrong about this. This is you're barking up the wrong tree." And like I said,
Be careful of that moral high ground, Pope.
if
You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, to the Catholic religion, he's very important, and I get all of that too. But this is some of the things that he's talking about. It's almost as if he's a little disconnected and maybe doesn't have all the information he needs.
if you really have trouble figuring out who the bad guys are in this situation, then I don't know how we can take you seriously. If you can't tell who the bad guys are, the ones who have been funding terrorism around the globe for 47 years, the ones who stated on the record that the minute they get a nuclear weapon, Tel Aviv is gone. You can't figure out that they're the bad. They're telling you they're the bad guys,
And
Like,
you're
what?
still defending them.
Exactly. They kill 30 to 45,000 of their own people because all they want is freedom and they want to throw off the yoke of this oppressive government. And the Pope says, "Oh, now you leave them alone. Don't hurt those people. Don't. You should come on, America. You need to be nicer to the Iranians." No,
No, we don't.
no.
The days of that should be over. We've given 40 plus years ample opportunity to try to work things out, and they've shown us decade after decade after decade. They want death to Israel. They want death to America. They have no sense whatsoever of ever having peace with us. So the only way to fix it and try to get peace in the Middle East is to do exactly what Donald Trump is doing right now, do exactly what our military is doing right now. And God bless them both, because this is the one opportunity we have. In the Middle East, it's the one opportunity they have to have peace in that region.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen now, I don't know that it will ever have peace.
Now that we've got it started, I think in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yes.
I don't think you can slow down this train. You're going to have
you got to do it full throttle.
see it all the way through.
Yep.
846 with Dixon and Vining. Your thoughts. Welcome 545-9950. Drop us a line if you want. Well, just on cue, now Iran is executing women for taking part in protests.
Of course.
Yikes.
Nothing's new.
Nothing new under the sun.
No.
It's Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com, 8:51 our time. Sean says, I haven't liked the last two popes. They came off as bought-off globalists. Yeah, all forms of governing bodies have been infiltrated by said globalists to rebuild the world in their vision. It's like 1913 and the years that followed all over again. Yeah, I would agree with you that certainly I find it amazing to me that popes, especially the past couple, have been so far flung left, and you're like, aren't you guys? You're against birth control, right? You're against abortion. You're all of those things still play. You're against homosexuality. You think that's a sin in the eyes of the Lord. This is what popes are supposed to believe. Yet somehow, when it comes to everything else, you're a far-flung lefty. Got it. Doesn't make much sense to me.
No.
Doesn't make much sense.
No.
If you're concerned about human rights, you should be concerned about women being beaten because they don't wear a hijab. In some cases, beaten to death because they don't wear a hijab. You don't seem to care about that. I mean, you should be calling out the Iranian regime from the top down. And pretty much any Muslim country that engages in that activity. Nope, not going to do it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is, they're all over the map when it comes to what it is that they decide that they want to glom onto. And this is one of them. And this is one of those issues. Sorry, it's too easy to figure out that what Iran is doing right now, these are the bad guys, and they have been for a long time. And the Pope is kind of saying the opposite of that. So it's just not a good look.
Edwin says, why doesn't the Pope grab his Pope hat and hop in the Pope mobile and head over to Iran? I'm sure they would welcome him with open arms and loaded guns.
Ooh, not sure about that.
They love Christians over there. Dax says, do we really think the Pope is watching unbiased news enough to form an educated opinion, or just being shown and told what an advisor with who knows what opinion they have? Yeah, true, in that if they're watching European news especially, that's even more anti-American than you might imagine. A citizen of, was it Great Britain, I want to say, said the other day, look, don't listen to the media, don't watch the media. Actually go to Europe and talk to the people there. They love Donald Trump. The people of Europe love Donald Trump, but their media hates him, same as our media. They're like, oh, okay, that's nice to know. He says, you got a lot of support on the ground in Europe, but not so much, of course, on TV. Seems to be the case. Jerry says, y'all may have talked about this and I just missed it, but have you seen the video of the heroic school principal who tackled the armed intruder at a school? Yeah, we talked about it
yesterday. That was amazing.
Oklahoma.
That man deserves
I wonder how he's recovering.
all the kudos in the world for that. He probably saved a lot of lives.
Well, I have to wonder. It seems like, again, the news cycle moves so fast with Donald Trump. Things are constantly going and churning, and that's what they do. They call it the churn in the news cycle, that different things rise up to the top on a daily basis. You'll notice we haven't said the words Eric or Swalwell once today.
Nope. Nope, that came and went.
Yeah.
There's the news, and bye-bye.
He's out.
Take
Done.
care.
He's out. Over. Taken care of. I mean, I guess if he wanted to get himself out of the news, that was the correct way to do it. To just drop out of the governor's race and then step down from Congress. But here's your problem. Tom Steyer is now the Democratic frontrunner. Tom Steyer is a billionaire and a complete and utter whack job. I mean, you talk about a nutcase. This is a guy who thinks ICE should be abolished, and he's already formulating plans that should he win and become the governor of California, he's formulating plans to arrest ICE agents under California law.
Nice.
Which, of course, will not stand up to the Supreme Court, but ICE shouldn't be having to fight with that.
Yeah. Well, this is what we can do. We can put a barrier on the east side of California.
I like it.
So you go ahead and let all the illegals in that you want to,
Knock
California, and then
yourself out.
we'll just, form a barrier there.
That's not a bad idea.
Put the ICE agents right on the California border with the rest of the country.
Great googly moogly.
Yeah, that's insane.
Bobby Bowden is getting quite the honor. He was actually born in Alabama, was the coach at Samford for quite a while. And now Tallahassee International Airport has been renamed.
That's the right thing to do, huh?
Florida State coach at Alabama.
You can't do something on the campus of FSU. Maybe you do something within the city. So
Yes, indeedy. Ron DeSantis officially signed Florida's Senate Bill 628, christening Bobby Bowden Tallahassee International Airport. He did this Tuesday. The airport serves as a primary air hub for Florida's capital city, with commercial and charter flights as well as international cargo. Way to go, Bobby. Nice.
Good work.
A great guy.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away in 2021 at the age of 91.
Mm-hmm. You
Grew
were
up-
questioning that earlier
I
this
was.
morning, and both of us were like,
I was like,
I'm,
wait, did I just kill
I
him?
think.
Tell me I did.
I don't want to say that. Yeah.
He grew up in Birmingham, briefly played at Alabama before finishing his college career at Howard College, now Samford, of course. He coached at Florida State from 76 to 2009, winning 371 wins and a pair of national championships. He really thought he had one more season in him. He insisted that he had one more season in him, but
I
they
think
cut
a lot
him
of
loose.
people were saying,
Yeah, no, I didn't think he did either, to be honest with you. When a coach loses it and just begins to slide like that, it's best to cut your losses. Plus, he needed to retire. He was ready to retire. He just didn't know he was ready to retire. And I'm trying to remember. I don't think I talked to him after he retired or after he was sent packing, but I do know I read a couple of interviews with him where he said, yes, I would have loved another season, but I must admit I'm enjoying the free time.
yeah.
Little
You're
bit like-
forced to relax.
Yeah. I mean, Mo Brooks, perfect example of a guy. He was a whirling dervish in the House. This guy,
He loved
District
what he was
5.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he ran for Senate, of course, and just got, ran into the buzzsaw that was Katie Britt and the establishment.
And the money.
Yeah, the
The
amount
money
of
kinda got
money
in the way of that.
was thrown into these anti-Mo Brooks ads that were just pure poppycock. How often have you heard that term?
Not
I'm sorry.
often,
I
but
meant-
it's really true.
I
I
meant
mean,
horse feathers.
Mo's, a
Yeah.
good guy, and he knows what he's doing, and articulate, and comes on the air anytime we needed him. We just, I kind of hate that.
More
I kinda
conservative than you could imagine.
Yes.
Certainly more conservative than the person who ended up getting in that seat. But we chatted with him after he had left the politics. And he said, you couldn't lure me back in with $1 bajillion. He's like, I'm enjoying my grandchildren. I'm happy because this. If I'd known it was going to be this good, I would have done it a long time ago. Well, yeah, that's your problem, man. You don't know how to retire. You don't know how to
Well,
relax.
some
a lot
people
of people don't.
Yeah, and then
I don't.
again, if they're forced to, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
this is heaven.
Yeah. Well, if I'm forced to, then I'm going to go find another job. That's what's going to happen. I can't help
Uh-huh.
myself. I got to have a reason to wake up in the morning every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that other ways.
I don't think so.
Volunteer work.
I-
Pick up a sport.
Are you kidding?
Go back to bowling.
Bowling?
Yes. Remember
I'm
you
not
were
gonna-
doing
I'm
that.
going to wake up in the morning to go bowling.
Why not?
Because it's not a good reason to get
Well,
up in the morning.
You volunteer at your local church.
You get up at
maybe
5.
a shelter.
Then. You wake up at
You-
5.
You can find a million
You're gonna
reasons
go-
to get your butt up
I
early.
really can't.
It has to be radio, huh?
Got to be radio.
Radio or nothing.
This is the only reason to wake up at this hour.
Or streaming or digital or podcast.
Possibly
Since we're
sex.
everywhere now.
Possibly sex. Other than that, and then right back to sleep, by the way. So, what? I'm so lonely.
Can't contain this. Just
9
Try.
o'clock with Dixon and Vining. You know what would really help this show along?
oh, please do tell us.
A little Steve's turn.
After that, really?
Yeah.
Glad we got an hour, top of the hour break.
Steve will save us all. He'll get this show
Thank goodness
right back
for
on
Steve.
the rails where
Thank you,
it
Steve.
needs to be.
I can't
No
wait to
pressure
hear
at
what
all.
Steve's
I-
turn's about today.
I have complete and utter faith in him.
Ah.
It is 9 o'clock, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk 99.